Today we're going to get into some character creation in the Vaesen tabletop RPG, a Nordic horror / supernatural / suspense tabletop RPG. Been waiting a while to do this, and today's video is sponsored by Free League Publishing. They sent me this stuff ages ago, and they have sent me just about everything for this game. And so I'm really looking forward to covering this and doing more videos on the Vaesen tabletop RPG. Welcome back, Leets, and welcome back all of you who may be new to the channel. Now, today I usually do my tagline and all the rest of that stuff. We're gonna skip all that because today's video is a little long. So we're just gonna get right into it, but I got two things to say right before we do that. Number one, if you are interested in grabbing Vaesen, go ahead, down in the description below, there will be many links for you to get all of the things related to the Vaesen tabletop RPG, and I will be doing more videos on this in the future. So stick here if you want to find out more about the Vaesen tabletop RPG. Also, since this is a little long, you can go ahead, and I do this for all of my videos, but some people apparently didn't get the memo that there are video chapters in all of my videos, and they think that I just go too long in saying the things that I'm saying. Well, you know, you can skip ahead with all this stuff, y'all. You really can. You know, I don't make it to where you have to watch everything. You just skip ahead through the video chapters, and most of y'all do that anyway. So remember, there'll be plenty of video chapters for you to skip ahead on for this video, since the length is a little long in the tooth. All right, that'll do it for right now. We're gonna get straight into this. On the other side, as always, got the question of the vid and a couple of other little goodies for you. So let's get right into this and roll them. All right, so here we are, and we have the Vaesen character sheet pulled up here as we get ready to create our new character. So let's get down to brass tacks first, and let's just look at the meat and potatoes, y'all. And that's the attributes and the skills. Now you have 4 attributes: your physique, your logic, your precision, and your empathy. And those all have 3 skills underneath. And they are pretty much self-explanatory here if you just look at them. You have your agility, your close combat, and your force under physique when you want to do any physical things, when you want to do things with thinking, problem solving, and all the rest of that stuff. You can do logic. Now, vigilance and observation, I'm going to make your distinction here. Vigilance is specifically so you don't get surprised or ambushed. Observation is more of getting a read on an individual. As you're talking to them, you're trying to get a read, you know, who they are, how they are, you know, just kind of get that vibe from them. So that's what observation is. That's why it's under empathy. Then you have your precision. You got medicine, range combat, and stealth. I'm not real sure why they call it precision. It's very, I don't know, it's kind of odd, precision, but anyway. And they got range combat under with medicine. Kind of weird, but it's just the way it is. And then you got your empathy, which is inspiration, manipulation, and observation. And empathy is obviously your more social things when you're dealing with people. Precision is kind of motor skill stuff, coordination, that kind of thing, balance. So those are the attributes and the skills that you start off with. Now, as we go through the archetypes, which is the first thing you want to do, you want to look at when you're creating a character, I'm going to be listing the main attribute and the main skill for each one. And it's important to understand that your main attribute can go up to 5, but all the rest of your attributes can only go up to a maximum of 4. So it's good to know which one. Also, your main skill, which can go up to 5 total, but you can only start off at a high level of 2 unless it is your main skill. Your main skill can go up to, you can start it off at 3. And understanding that before you go in will inform you how you want to make your character. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into the different archetypes that they have in Vaesen. So I'm going to pull up the character creation list here. So we're just going to go right through this. And right now we're doing all of the archetypes. So let's pull these up. Let's go through them one by one. I'm going to go through them quick though. So the first one on the list is the academic. Now this is the researcher, the one delving into the books and the situations to increase their knowledge and understanding of things. Now, when we look at the academic, we see that they have a main attribute of logic, makes sense, and their main skill will be learning. Next on the list is the doctor. Is there a doctor in the house? This is one interested in healing and understanding the human body in ways that help humanity. And their main attribute is, of course, going to be logic, and then their main skill is going to be medicine. I think I know what precision is on this one now, because you do need to be precise when it comes to medicine. So kind of makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is the hunter. Now, the hunter is a tracker and a stalker of whatever target that they put their minds to try to pursue and catch. Now, their main attribute is going to be precision, and their main skill is going to be ranged combat. Next on the list is the occultists. The occultists are those who use dark arts to affect the world around them. And these individuals have a main attribute of precision, by the way, and their main skill is stealth. That's a little weird. Yeah, that one I can say is officially weird. Okay, let's move on. Next one is officer. This is a current military or ex-military officer, and they're using their skills now that they acquired as a soldier to go and hunt monsters, the Vaesen. Their main skill is the same as the hunter. It's going to be precision, and also they are going to have ranged combat as their main skill. Next on the list is the priest. The man of the cloth who knows the way of the divine and also has knowledge of the supernatural. They have a main attribute of empathy and a main skill of observation. True, that's true. They hit the nail on the head on that one. That is absolutely true. Let's go on to the next one, which is the private detective. Sherlock Holmes, anyone? The private detective, one who's interested and skilled at detecting clues and uncovering the mysteries that they hide. Dun, dun, dun. They have a main attribute of logic and a main skill of, hey, you guessed it, investigation. Let's move on to the servant. Hey, that's me. Well, it's not really me, but you know what's up. The servant. Someone who knows how to attend to the needs of others in ways that helps them get things accomplished. This is an interesting one to me. This is an interesting archetype. Their main attribute is physique. Their main skill is force. And just so you know, coming out of the gate, you don't use close combat for unarmed combat. You use force. So if you want somebody who's good with fisticuffs, just punching people in the face, then you're going to want them to be good at force. So you might want to be a servant. Maybe they're somebody's bodyguard or used to be or something like that. That could be. Move on to the next one, which is the vagabond. The wanderer, trying to survive by begging and working odd jobs in the various places where they travel. The vagabond is going to have a main attribute of physique, and their main skill will be manipulation because they got to. They got to know how to work people in order to get food, in order to get jobs, the whole nine, y'all, because, they ain't got a place to lay their head and they're just a squirrel trying to get a nut. You know what I mean? All right. And we get to the last one, which is the writer, a chronicler of what they see and think in the world around them, able to express this in a clear way to the reader. Their main attribute is going to be empathy, and their main skill will be inspiration, which totally makes sense. That's another one that they nailed on the head there. So those are all 10 of the archetypes that they have in Vaesen. However, the one that I am going to make is not any of those. I just wanted you guys to know what you can expect if you're going to go out and get Vaesen. This is what you can expect inside of the book, but the one that I'm going to make is in a special supplement, y'all. So let's move on and see what we got over here. All right, so the archetype that I have chosen to create is an archetype from the Satanic Witchcraft supplement for Vaesen. And this one is called a Witch Finder. I don't like that so much. I like the term Witch Destroyer. So that is what I'm going to use. So the Witch Destroyer is one that goes, finds, and hunts and destroys witches. So yes, that is the one that I have chosen to create the new Witch Finder. Let's find out a little bit of information about them, shall we? I cannot tell who despises us more, Satan or the church. I admit there have been mistakes in the past, and to prevent further embarrassment, we must maintain a skeptical eye in all situations. There are tactics now, a protocol. I'm as much a private detective as I am a man of God. Though the church will never call upon me, God's faithful will seek me out when they need answers. And that is what brought me to the dark woods surrounding Salem some years ago. Few among us possess the spiritual fortitude to look upon those dancing naked around the fire, to see demonic familiars flying overhead, reveling in satanic ecstasy. Even I trembled as I looked upon the child scribing their name in Lucifer's black book. So you get the gist there. So that is the kind of character I am going to create. So I'm going to go right over here and I'm going to put in Witch Destroyer. Da, da, da. Right? Okay. And the next part of this, if you go back to our list of things to do, we're going to choose our age. So let's go ahead and look at our age here. And we got a little age box because this matters. So if you look at this, you got 3 age groups here. You got your young, middle age, and old. And you have your age ranges here. And this is going to determine how many points that you get for attributes and how many points that you get for your skills. So most people probably, by and large, will probably go with middle age, which is what I'm going to go with. Because he's going to start off at about, I'm going to say about 33 years old. So now that we have that, if we look down here at the age table, that means that I have a set number of attribute and skill points. So let's go and start distributing these attribute points in the next section here. All right, so before we go ahead and do that, let's go ahead and give him a name because that's the next thing right here on our character creation list. I already got a name picked out for him. Oh, you know, I'm ready, Freddy. Akelo Balandumu. That is his name. But he's also known as Ezekiel the Zealot. So Akelo Balandumu is his real name. Got a background for him. I got the whole thing going on, y'all. Oh, I'm already all up in it. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to distribute those attribute points. If we pull up the age table again, you'll see that I have 14 points to distribute between my physique, logic, precision, and empathy. All right. And as a witch destroyer, my main attribute is empathy. And my main skill is investigation. Forgot to put that little detail in there in the last one. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to distribute these in the way that I would like. We're going to cut and be right back here in 1 second. All right, so let's take a look at what we got right here. What we got right here, as I put 4 in physique, because he's going to be throwing down. That's just how he is, y'all. Got 3 in logic, 2 in precision, and I'll have, of course, in my main attribute, the max, 5. So that equals 14 attribute points. So now let's move on to distributing them skill points. Okay, so in the interim, I went ahead and put a little picture up here. That's my boy right there. That's what it looked like, y'all. That's my witch destroyer. Okay, so we have, according to the age table, 12 points to distribute for all of my skills. So, that's quite a few. So let me go ahead and let me do some thinking, and then we'll cut right back and we'll look at how I did everything. Okay, so let's take a look at how I put my points. Now, I put 2 in close combat because, yes, I do want him to be fisticuffs, not fisticuffs, but, in your face kind of guy because he does carry a weapon. 3 in investigation because that's his main skill. Got a couple in learning, a couple in vigilance because, he's got to be paying attention all the time. He's got a little bit of a reputation. Some people might be coming after him. So, you got to keep an eye on things. Know what I mean? And we've got 1 in inspiration and 1 in observation. Now, as you can see, I have zeros in some of these, but that means I'm just going to roll the base attribute, and that's it. Now, in Vaesen, how you do things is by rolling all 6-sided dice, and how you get a success is by rolling a 6. To figure out how many dice you get to roll, you will look at your main attribute score and your skill score. That will tell you how many 6-sided dice that you will get to roll for whatever you are trying to do. So he is going to be pretty good at some observation, pretty good at investigation. Not bad for a beginning character. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at how much money that Akello is going to be making. So we go back to his character box, look right here, and it looks like he has resources from 2 to 6. So we're gonna have to go to the resources table to figure out what that means. So let's look here on the resources table, and 2 means poor and 6 means well off. So it's somewhere in there. So he's got a maximum of well off and he has a minimum of poor. Now, normally when you're starting off making a character, you start off at the lowest end of whatever your range is. So it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and have to start off at poor. That's not a big deal. It would make sense. It kind of makes sense because I got a background for him and everything. So kind of makes sense that he would start off kind of on the low end. I mean, it's not like his services are in high demand or anything like that. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's start him off where it's supposed to start him off with. And then later, maybe through experience, he can grow, get better and better. So I'm digging this. So this is where he's going to start for his Monet. He'll survive. Okay, so our next order of business is to grab a talent. Now, you start off choosing 1 talent out of 3 for your archetypes. Here are the 3 for my Witch Destroyer archetype. I have Suffer Not the Witch, Sight of God, and Hammer of Witches. And I think after looking at all of these, I like them all, but I think we're going to start off with Suffer Not the Witch. Just something basic. So let me go ahead and let me get that together, and then I'm going to cut right back here. All right, here we go. We have Suffer Not the Witch. You are emboldened when facing the mortal servants of Satan. Gain +2 to fear test when frightened by a witch or a wizard. I dig it. I dig it. We can do that. Oh man, I can dig it. All right. So that's going to do it. So the next thing we're going to do is going to just work primarily on their personality, background type of things. So let's do that right now. All right, for these next ones, you usually have 3 that you can choose from. However, you don't have to choose from that, because if you've got something that's a little bit more interesting for your character, you can go ahead and you can do that as well. So the first one is the motivation. And so let's take a look at the motivation of the Witch Destroyer. We've got 3 here. Save the souls of God's creatures, bring holy righteousness to the society, or burn wickedness from the world. Ooh. Oh yeah, I think I like that one. That one sounds good. Let's just take that one and put that right in here. That is what motivates him. Burn wickedness from the world. So next on the list is trauma. Now, trauma is that thing that happened that gave them what's called the sight. Now, the sight is the ability to actually see Vaesen, because people cannot see Vaesen unless you have this special ability. But normally it's triggered by something traumatic. Now, in the case of the Witch Destroyer, I'm looking at here 3 things. A witch turns you into a newt, but you got better. Okay. You were cursed by a witch who created a puppet in your likeness. Meh. You were possessed by a demon from hell. Uh-oh. I think I like that one. Oh, shookin'. We're going to choose that one, y'all. I'm seeing a background forming. Let's go on to the next one. The dark secret. Oh, they all have dark secrets. We all have those skeletons in the closet. So let's see what the options are that they give you for the Witch Destroyer. It says here, you are no longer in the good graces of the church. Okay. You once charged someone of witchcraft you knew to be innocent. You do not believe in God or Satan. I don't think I like any of these. I don't think so. But I think I do have one, y'all. Give me a second and I'll be right back. All right, so I did come up with one here, and it is that his mother is a witch in his home country of Uganda. That dark family secret, y'all. Skeletons in the closet, know what I mean? Okay, and that would be up to your GM to kind of bring that out in the story if you guys are doing a campaign or a one-shot, or however you're doing it. So it would be up to them to bring that out. Okay. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, so the next portion that we're going to go through is our gear, our equipment, and our mementos. So if you go to the Witch Hunter character box, you'll see that the equipment down here at the bottom, it will let you know what you start off with, kind of like your main equipment. So he has an old Bible, has some hunting equipment, or a book collection. He has hunting equipment. and either a map book or a saber. And wouldn't you guessed it, if you look at his picture, guess what he has? Yes, he's going to have a saber. I'm going to give him all of these things, and then we're going to cut right back to here so we can grab a memento. So now we're going to move on to the mementos, and there is a table for this right here. And what you do here is you roll 2 6-sided die and you get a result. Or you can choose one. You can choose one. So if I were to roll 2 6-sided die, you want to know something? I'm looking at stuff here. I don't know. I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at stuff. I'm not seeing anything good. I think I know what I want as a memento. I already have it in my mind. So let me just go ahead and let me just put that in there. All right. So he has a silver ichthus or ichthus, you can call it either or, on a chain that he wears around his neck. That is his memento. And it was given to him by his mentor. The next thing you would need to do is you would need to choose your relationships. But you want to know something? I did that out of order, but don't worry about it. The reason why I didn't choose relationships was because I don't know if this character is going to be playing with anybody else. So we just don't know. We're just making the character. So we just kind of skipped over that one. We're done. That's it. That's the end of the character. And so this is Akelo Balandumu, Ezekiel the Zealot, the Witch Destroyer. And I can't wait to see how I'm going to finagle using him in Vaesen. Now, folks, this is my genre. This is my jam. This is the place where I like to create stories because I deal with this. I deal with kind of like the supernatural. Now, I'm not talking about Vaesen. I'm talking about the supernatural because the supernatural is real. And whether you want to believe that or not, we must admit this. We just don't know everything about this great big world that we live in. And there are some things that are just not explainable and haven't been and probably never will be until the end. And it's because those things are supernatural. So I love this kind of genre. I love this, that you can tell some very cool stories with this kind of setting. Hey, if you got any value out of this video at all, can you do a brother a solid and just crush the like button for me? And also, if you got any questions about the Vaesen RPG, hey, feel free to leave me some comments down below and leave a question if that's where you want to do it, or you can just hit me up in my email. I'll get to it as soon as I can. I am a busy brother. I'm trying to work it over here, y'all. I'm working it like DJ Funk. But if you just want to leave a comment, I do look at the comments. If it's a question, I try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. And also, if you just want to stick around here for a little while, y'all, because we got plenty of content coming up, God willing, y'all. I'm working like you just don't. You got me working day and night, like Michael Jackson used to say. All right? What y'all know about that? Okay, let's go ahead with the question of the vid today. The question of the vid, you should know what this is if you're one of my leads. I just got done doing a character creation video and going over a lot of different character archetypes. So of the core archetypes, which one would you lean towards creating as your first character in the Vaesen RPG? Now, I'm not talking about the one I created because that's not part of the core. I already mentioned that. That's not part of the core. That's the supplement that I went out and bought. So minus the one that I created, which one would you lean towards creating as your first character in the Vaesen RPG? If you were interested in playing the game, let me know down in the comments below. Let's get it started, y'all. Let's get some engagement going. That's going to be it for me, y'all. I got to get out of here, and you know what that means. A brother has got to do is snaggle puss.
So exit, stage left.
If you got a game this week, y'all, happy gaming. I pray it is an RPG elite session, just the best, y'all. And until next time, God willing, I will see ya on the flip on Friday. We got that classic Traveler tabletop RPG coming and some other little goodies during the week as well. So until then, peace, 5,000 leaks. Yes, I'm out.